असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Sushil, 1 minute. I'm unmuting you. Unmute yourself. Sushil Agarwal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Good.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Friends, first, I welcome today's chief guest, our beloved President, Shri M. Mohan, who has taken out time for us from his busy schedule. We are very, very proud of our beloved President for inspiration and hand-holding in our efforts to work on the agenda set up by him of imparting knowledge to all the members. It is wish of our beloved President, Shri M. Mohan, that all the members should get the knowledge and information from the experts and authority in the subject domain of business of all our members. Today, one such authority, Shri Arvind Garg and Shri H.S. Mohan are with us. I welcome Shri Arvind Garg, Executive Vice President and Head of Construction and Mining Machinery Business and Industrial Machinery Business of L&T. I also welcome Mr. H.S. Mohan, Chief Executive Officer, Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council. I also welcome our Vice President, Western Region, Shri Babarauji Shakkarwar, our National Secretary, Shri Pradeep Nagavekar ji. I suppose he is present there.
No. He is on his way. He is traveling. He is on his way.
How about Mr. Madani, our Treasurer?
He is also coming.
He is also coming. Then all our state chairman, our center chairmen, and all the members who are present for this today's webinar. I request our president to guide us for this webinar. Shri Madhuji.
Present, sir.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My dear colleagues, I am really honored to address you as President of BII and Chief Guest of today's event, workshop on importance of training construction machinery operators and mechanics. I congratulate BII Mechanization Committee headed by Sri Shakti Kumar and his team for organizing this event. The topic of today's workshop is very close to my heart, as I personally feel training the workforce is essential for better and quality performance of any activity, particularly working in construction industry. Trained professionals not only perform exceptionally well, but would also be helpful to complete the project within the scheduled time frame. Friends, it is in this regard I would like to mention about the Builders Day theme of BII for the year 2021. Safety is not expensive, it is priceless, which mainly focused about the trained workforce to maintain safety at site. BA has circulated a detailed note on the topic so that each BA center could organize Builders Day program with the theme. As known to you all, construction work is a hazardous job. Some construction site jobs include building houses, roads, and workplaces, and repair and maintenance infrastructures. This work includes many hazardous tasks under extreme conditions, such as working with height, excavation, noise, dust, and power tools and equipments. The most common fatalities are caused by the fatal four: falls, being struck by an object, electrocutions, and being caught in between two objects. Construction work has been increased in developing and undeveloped countries over the past few years. With an increase in this type of work, occupational fatalities have increased. Occupational fatalities are individuals who die while on the job or performing work-related tasks. To efficiently handle these onerous tasks, the workforce should be properly trained. Friends, adoption of most modern methods and equipment in construction industry is the norm of today. The equipment used in construction industry is very helpful but costly and sometimes values more than crores of rupees. The operators of these machineries and equipment needs highly skilled training, and in this regard, today's workshop is very important. I am sure our experienced speakers on this panel will inculcate these aspects in their address and will enlighten our members on the availability of training facilities at various places. In this junction, I welcome Sri Arvind Garg ji, a past president of this ICEMA, and Sri H.S. Mohan, the Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council CEO, and I congratulate the Mechanization Committee Chairman Sri Shakti Kumar, the Co-Chairman Sushil Agarwal ji, and Saurabh Agarwal ji. I hope this session will enlighten about the importance of the skilled workforce for these machineries and all. Since I am also a contractor, we had so many difficulties in this regard. In Chennai, we are doing our work in night in the city. If a problem has occurred in our paver or vibrator, the entire work will stop. The project will get stuck. So we are very much interested in this training, this skilled workforce and mechanics. It is the need of the hour to us, and we so many years, myself and Shakti Kumar, we are talking on this and we are doing something in that. I want this to be get elaborately done throughout the country. I request this mechanization committee and the speakers, if you give the articles on this, I am ready to publish this in our Indian construction. It will go to all our members. So it will help them about this mechanization and about the skilled workforce. With this, I conclude my address, and I request you all to be safe from this corona. Thank you very much.
Sushil ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm President, sir. I'm really, I feel very happy about your concern for all the construction workers who are working for us, and your concern for making them safe. So it is our major concern, because machinery more than crore rupees are taken on, like you get finance for all this and you buy it from a dealer, but training skilled manpower is really very important. So for this we have today's speaker, Mr. Arvind K. Garg, who is I'll introduce both the speakers. So Mr. Arvind Kumar Garg is Executive Vice President and Head of L&T Construction and Mining Machinery with a diverse experience of 35 years in NARSL in L&T Group. His responsibilities include the activities of L&T's Rubber Process Machinery and Product Development Center. Mr. Garg is a graduate in Mechanical Engineering from Maulana Azad College of Technology, now NIT Bhopal, and an alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and London Business School. Joining L&T as a GET, he has grown in manufacturing, marketing, and service functions to occupy various leadership roles in the company. In his long association with the construction and mining equipment industry, Mr. Garg has worked closely from L&T with the global majors like Komatsu Japan and Scania Sweden to usher in the world-class technologies and products in the Indian market. He was instrumental in introducing a slew of initiatives that saw L&T ramp up parts operations, rigid supply chain management, and help improve the operational efficiency and asset management. He is now championing the cause of digitalization with innovative solutions driven to enhance customer satisfaction. As a director on the board of L&T's wholly owned subsidiary, Mr. Garg heads L&T Construction Machinery Limited, LTCMIL, which manufactures hydraulic excavators, wheel loaders, vibratory compactors, and high-quality hydraulic components. He is spearheading L&T's active role in product indigenization and has nurtured new products and new markets as part of the prestigious Make in India initiative and paving the way for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Mr. Garg functioned earlier as the president of Indian Construction Equipment Manufacturers Association, ICMA, and transformed the body into the most credible face of Indian construction equipment industry. He played an active role in the industry relating to recommendations on the issues of emerging trends, indigenization, imports, taxation, and emission norms, and in establishing a level playing field. Presently, Mr. Garg is the chairman and chairman of Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council and promoting skill building among various stakeholders. He is collaborating with government agencies to provide impetus for industry-specific skills through a host of initiatives at the national level, which has seen the members involved in skill development in a big way. Mr. Garg is also the driving force encouraging safe operating practices in the CE industry, strengthening relationship with the global construction equipment forums, and promoting technological competitiveness in the local industry. He is the CII's he is on the CII's high-powered steering committee for major exhibitions like ExCon, ConMac, and he is chairman of Bauma ConExpo India Task Force. That's about Mr. Arvind Garg. Then I'll introduce Mr. H.S. Mohan as well. He's the Chief Executive Officer for Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council. Mr. Mohan is currently the CEO and ex officio secretary of the IASC since November 2014. Under his leadership, IASC has moved swiftly and has been able to get 39 job roles covering construction, mining, highway, leasing, and material handling equipments and operators and mechanics. IASC has so far enrolled over 46,000 candidates for training cover over 80% of the industry job roles. Over 61 training centers have been accredited and another 8 training partners are in the different stages of accreditation. Over 550 qualified and experienced trainees have been certified from the industry. Mr. H.S. Mohan has an experience of 43 years in the same industry in the senior positions. He began his career as a trainee in heavy engineering group and thereafter joined JCB and rose to the position of general manager and business head and moved to Pune to head JCB heavy line operations at Pune plant. He worked as a chief operating officer for the Korean major Doosan Infracore Equipments, heading India operations, and has to his credit of setting up portable power plant in Bengaluru. He had a short stint as executive director in a multinational Vectra group of companies. He is a graduate in mechanical engineering from the prestigious National Institute of Engineering, coupled with post-graduation in marketing management. He is also certified auditor through Cranfield, UK. He has been trained in various fields of management in Tata Management Institute, JCB, UK, Accelerate, Jamshedpur, etc. He has been associated with many associations and currently active in South Zone of CII Forum. He has been a jury member for some of the industry awards constituted by business magazines. So we have subject experts, and I hand over to Mr. Madhu.
Sir, Garg sir, I'm taking you on spotlight. It will be Garg sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sushilji. Thank you very much for introducing me. It was a very long introduction, and I really don't think I deserve all that. But I'm with BAI, the leadership of BAI, and many other stakeholders. As you mentioned, skilling is very, very important for us, and we believe that the only way the country will be able to move forward in mechanizing and in adoption of new technologies will be through the process of skilling. And therefore, we constituted the Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council under ICEMA with the sole purpose of ensuring that all of you, our esteemed customers, are able to use the machines that you buy from us in the most efficient and cost-effective manner. It is our belief that skilling will help in ensuring that the equipment is properly utilized, that we get the best efficiency, including fuel efficiency from the equipment, and that the focus on safety that Mr. Mohan spoke about is fully addressed, because we believe that every single person who's working in the field needs to be safe. And if you really look at our industry, till last year, we were selling almost about 80,000 machines per year, which means that there are almost 6 lakh active machines in the field being used by the builders of India, builders of modern India, people like you. And when you have almost 5 to 6 lakh machines working in the field, it means that there are almost 25 to 30 lakh operators and mechanics who are there in the field. And it is necessary that these people who have possibly learned the art of operating the machines or maintaining the machines in an informal method be trained formally. And therefore, the Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council has laid out a lot of emphasis on skilling people, which means proper measurement, proper quality packs, proper training standards have been set out. And we have been blessed by NSDC in this respect. And we believe that all the steps that we are taking in this direction will help us in improving the safety at job sites, in improving the cost efficiency, in bringing down the life cycle costs of the equipment, and enhancing the life of the equipment, which will have a very beneficial impact and will help us in realizing the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister, who has set out a Skill India mission and special emphasis to the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So this engagement that we have today with the senior leadership and members of the Builders Association of India through its mechanization committee is something that I think is going to really help us in skilling people, in taking the agenda forward. And we have a brief presentation that will be made by Mr. Mohan on the activities of IESC and the possible methods of collaboration between BAI and ESC. And I would be very thankful that you look at it and you give us your blessings and give us an opportunity to help us in taking the agenda forward. As Mr. Mohan was saying, last year we have trained a huge number of people but still there's a long way to go. And this collaboration will help us in ensuring that we are able to skill people, we are able to certify people. Today, if you look at the country, if I have to ride a scooter, I need a license. But if I have to operate a machine, I need no certification. I think that needs to change. And we are working closely with the government to see that the government makes it mandatory that over the next 5 to 6 years, all operators are certified. And these certified operators will mean better equipment utilization, more safety, and definitely cost saving for all of us. So we seek your support from the BAI in taking this agenda forward. And with these few words, I will pass it on to Mr. Mohan to make a presentation, and subsequently we can then answer all the questions that you may have. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Mohan sir, I have given you the sharing rights.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so very much. And it's such a pleasure to be here this afternoon. And thank you, President Saab, and then our chairman for all this, the good words which has been said. And there are certain concerns expressed. I'm very sure that, as a sector-skill council, we should be able to answer your questions, and then we join hands to move forward, sir. But let me also tell you one of the most important thing. Builders Association of India has been our governing body member since the beginning of our Sector Skill Council, 2014-15. And we continue to have the presence of Mr. Gupta in Delhi whenever we have the meeting, R.N. Gupta ji, and then we have Mr. K. Subramani joining us in Bangalore whenever we have the governing body meetings. We normally have 4 meetings in a year, and they have been present to give us the directions. We have been associated with you, sir, but this is an excellent opportunity for us. And the President spoke, on the first he spoke about the safety, then he spoke about the difficulties they face in the operations. Sir, we are here to sort out the issues. And let my presentation, I go through this, that should be able to give you a direction what we are in, and then guide us to move forward. I'll just take you through the presentation, sir. Can you all see this slide?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Welcome again to the Builders Association of India and member companies. My presentation will be brief. I rather believe that if you see the photos and other part of it, you will believe much more on the activities front. But in overview of Sector Skill Council, then members and governing body, equipment portfolio, that what you are telling up the job roles, then NSQF level, National Skill Qualification Framework levels, versus the academics, academics and the comparison, just to give you what it is, certification and career progression of the candidates whom we train and certify, advantages of certification and training progress in outline. That's what we do. And then in the end, I would be talking about how we can join hands with the BAI. So to start with, sir, I will take you through a small video film, which is 4 minutes, but it will give a lot of information on the on the Sector Skill Council. Kindly have patience to look at this, sir.
There's no sound, Mr. Mohan?
There's no sound?
No, there's no sound.
Sorry, sir, you are not getting the sound?
No.
None of them?
Sakti Kumar sir, you are getting sound?
No sound.
No sound.
Oh, I am getting the sound. I don't know how do I get in there?
You have to switch it on. Sharing, when sharing.
Yes, sir.
When you share, that share screen comes, na?
Yeah.
There you have to say put sound on.
Oh, okay. When I share.
The share Zoom share box comes.
Yeah.
There you have that option.
1 second, sir. 1 second.
Please. No, take your time. No issues.
Just 1 second. That may be a mistake.
No. Do it calmly.
Now you can see the
Yeah,
slide.
so we can see the slide. And when you say share,
Yeah, it is
in the
loading.
Zoom, in the Zoom window, there is an option share sound also.
1 second. I'll just come back to you. 1 minute.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah, now we should come.
Yeah.
Are you getting?
Yeah. Yes.
India is on a path of progress with a new vision and greater optimism. Infrastructure is leading the way. While the industry is keeping its pace in this endeavor, we are arming this progress with essential skills and a certified workforce. IESC, Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council.
1 minute.
While many of us individually as companies have been carrying out training and skilling activities, it was felt necessary that we must, as an organization, push ahead the Prime Minister's agenda of Skilling India, and hence IESC, the Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council, was formed. We have developed the necessary QPs and the necessary infrastructure for training these people, and we are giving a tremendous amount of focus and momentum to the skilling activity in this respect, looking at training the other half of the workforce, which is ladies. And this year we have made a small beginning by also getting lady operators to be trained who can then operate the machines in the field.
IESC is a not-for-profit organization promoted by ICMA, supported by CII, and funded by the National Skill Development Corporation.
IESC is an offshoot of ICMA. In the last 10 years, we have 40 members in IESC. Our main job is to develop skill metrics and conduct training programs for technicians and operators of construction equipment across the equipment. We work very closely with the government and contribute to Skill India project of government in developing a curriculum of training and providing training to technicians and operators of various construction equipment.
IESC's goal is to train over 1 million operators and mechanics over the next 10 years.
Our efforts are to become game changers in the industry by bringing in vast pool of talent of operators and mechanics to be certified. We are working with finance and insurance companies to incentivize the IESC certified users.
Since inception, IESC has come a long way with initiatives in states such as Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Kerala, Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, and West Bengal. It has also joined hands with the Army and Navy and big corporations like L&T Transport, Tata Projects, and Adani. with the help of state-of-the-art simulation models providing in-depth knowledge of machines. IESC has developed 39 job roles, affiliated 59 training partners, and has over 500 certified partners.
According to us, skilling of our youth and of our people is an absolute necessity for a country of ours. With a very, very strong demographic dividend, it is necessary that our people become employable, and that vocational training, to our mind, is one way of ensuring that we give proper employment and to these people, and it is our objective that through training we make the jobs of operators and mechanics an aspirational job instead of what it is today.
We are ready to match the pace of Indian infrastructure and enable a skilled workforce. India on the path of becoming a 5 trillion economy by 2024. IESC is taking big strides to make it happen by strengthening the backbone of the Indian infrastructure. IESC, the backbone of Indian infrastructure.
Just to take you through, and I'm sure the film would have given us the most the job done that is being done, envisaged by us and then the industry. Sir, first of all, IESC is there for the industry, by the industry, of course, with the our founding members of ICMA. We started with 18-member founding body. Now we have got 43 members in the our Sector Skill Council. If you take any of the industry, you look at it, or any of your suppliers that you are looking at, or any of the machineries that you are looking at, all are with us. We cover more than 80% to 90% of the job roles, what industry wants. And each one of them are, contributing for the skilling, ecosystem of the country. So also for the industry, for our customers. If you see our board of members today, currently we have 20 people, 14 from the industry and another 4 from the Department of Heavy Industries, then Builders Association of India, then academia. We have got from the Indian Institute of Science, Dr. Shiv Kumar. Then we have Mr. Anand Sundaresan as a special invitee. Otherwise, if you look at it, the selection of the board, we go by segment-wise selection. Earth-moving segment, concreting segment, road construction segment, material handling segment, material preparation and processing, finance companies, ICMA nominees like Wipro, who are the suppliers of hydraulic components, and we have from JCB. So it's a very well diversified people coming with very heavy people who are in the industry, who drive the industry to a great success. They are all part of our governing body. Our governing body meets once in 3 months. We take the direction set by the governing body, and then we move forward. And then we also have our annual general body meeting once in a year for all the members. It's a pleasure to be there, and we have been driven by NSDC. We work under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Our industry connect is quite heavy, sir. In the terms of the running body is 19 members. We are accountable to them as IESC. And then we have 43 IESC members as OEM. Then we have customer ends, Builders Association of India leads the way. They are the people who have been supporting us, but we need to find some more, way of we can join hands to move forward. We have Crane and Aerial Lift Platform Association members joining us. Earth-moving, Excavators Association of South in Chennai, they have been a part of us. Sterlite Industries are part of us, and L&T Construction are there. Then Adani Skill Development in the port in Surat, that is what they are doing it. And then Tata Projects, All India Council of Technical Education, Indian Army. Majority of these people are already with us, and we have a big customer base. And as I said, it's over 47,000 people we are trained and given them the jobs. What we do is that we, just as a sector council, our job is also to ensure that our user industry is well covered when we prepare the standards. we take the help and then talk very, minutely into the mining sector. What are their requirements? What are their, expectations from an operator? What they want to get it from us? What is the skill set the operators have got? What is the skill set they expect them to do? What is the skill gap analysis? So also with the construction sector. We cover about 1,500 to 2,000 customers when we prepare the standards. The standards are prepared in 3 segments. One is an organized customer, semi-organized customer, and an unorganized customer. We go and meet them personally. We have, our consultant, Deloitte, LaborNet, and we take these standards from them, have a, virtual meeting with these customers, and then we also have a validation workshop. After that, I go to the board, I prepare the standards, and then show it to NSDC, get it approved. From NSDC, I go to Government of India, and the standards get approved in the Government of India. That's a way that we proceed. Each equipment, each standard is about a 30-page document, exhaustively covering the aspects, what Mr. Mohan said about the safety also. It's a very, very minute thing that we go through, and then all the standards that what we prepare is the data, and then the requirement is given by your people at the site, and that makes us the huge difference. It is not IESC or ICMA. It is your contractors, your users, your supervisors, your operators who say this is what is requested, and that is how we prepare the standards. Now we cover all the equipment today, sir. Some of this new equipment which will going to cover it up, in few months. But otherwise, as of today, we cover road equipment, highway equipment, material handling equipment, earthmoving equipment. All that it is covered, including the boring machines and tower cranes, all that. We have 39 job roles. Our job roles level are level 3, 4, and 7. This is 7 comes to a level of supervisors and mechanics at that level. Then the industry workforce is well covered, and we'll go to cover the rest of the 10 or 20% what is remaining. Number of training centers we have is about 61, and we are still progressing. It is adding on, is going on. Number of qualified trainers, in terms of the 220, and then RPL 4 certified trainers about 280. We have some 500 people who are certified trainers from the industry. And we have, as I said, 47,000 people we are certified, and then they have been employed. We do the assessment, by the external agency. We don't do the assessment. Once the training is through, then an extra separate body will come in to do the exam, do the assessment of the candidates. They're all the industry professionals who will come and do the assessment, and they do a technical assessment, and then the theory and all that. There's a full defined assessment process is there. CII is one of the assessment agency, and there is another agency called CoCubes. And recently we have selected 3 more assessment agencies to take it up, covering the pan-India, so that we don't delay. Because once the assessment is required, it has to be done on the same day. It may be difficult to hold the candidates when the training is through, so that we ensure that this is done on the right day. So we are there, and we can cover it up any nook and corner of the country today. What is the most important thing? I'll take you through this very important slide. You see, this is the academics, level. If you look at it, this is the academic level, class 9, class 10, 11, 12, up to PhD. This is the, academic level of 10. When you compare to this, this is the national skill set, national skill qualification framework. Minimum skill or no skill, it is at level 1. And then, with some experience, level 2, then semi-skill, we go to level 3. So IESC, all our job roles level starts from 3, sir. And then we are going up to level 7. We're in the process of, putting the supervisor of skilled person and supervisor, levels 5 and 6, that is getting established this year. But we have now covered, which is a basic important, a semi-skilled or a chotu or a helper, and then the skilled operator, and then, that's out level 4. Majority of the training takes shape over there. Manager, supervisor, we have done a lot of job on the Army, Navy, and that part of it. That's what I wanted to take you through. This is how the, the career progression goes up. For the entry level, we have got 13 job roles. The guy who does not know anything, he gets into the level. We have got 13 job roles to get enrolled for these machines. We have got 16 job roles in the middle, where it is a very, very popular, job role of National Skill Qualification Framework 4. Then we have the master operator and, master mechanic level, which is level 4, which is level 5 and 6. And then we have the supervisor, plant operation and maintenance. That's what it is, where, the diploma and the graduates also comes into the process. They are being, certified at the level 7. with an experience. It's a very fully covered. We have got opportunity to go up to level 10, where that comes to a PhD level. As we move forward, as we mature, the industry matures, we go for further job roles on the subject. This is how we started, sir. You know, we 15-16, we started with 784 people certifications. As our chairman said, you know, last year we did 27,000, a jump of 214% when you compare to before last year. And this is a huge sum for us. We have done about 47,129 people. Unfortunately, since March, we have not been able to, start the training. Now the government has given us the clearance. We will now restart the training from the month, from the October month, and we would be, definitely be needing your help to move forward. Well, I just would like to take you through some of the snapshots. These are all the training that is being done in the field, at the classrooms, at the highways, and then this is how some of the photographs can enlighten you on some of these machines which you are using it. That's very important for us. This is some of the mines, then cranes we are doing it. This is in one of the village that we did for the Tata Hitachi. Then Kobelco excavator training. Then Komatsu, this is the dumper operators. We will Scania dumper operators. We do the training. Then SANI aerial lift. At SANI we do the aerial lift platform training. This is one of the very, very coming equipment which is being used very extensively. Then we also had some major training program for excavators and loaders by Volvo in one of the mining area. Almost about 700 people came in for the training. Then Hyundai, we continue to do with them. Then these are some of the programs that we do for national backward class and national, scheduled caste training centers as per the wishes of the government. We continuously do the training at difficult places. We take these people to get an employment. Majority of them are employed as a backhoe loader or a crane operator. We feel very happy that all the 799 candidates we are trained so far, they have been employed. Then recently, of course, most of you were participating in the EXCON. We also were part of the EXCON committee in a big way. And we did exhibit simulators. And then ISC stall was well recognized. And then, for the first time, ISC branding went through the EXCON. All the panels are part of it. And as our chairman was talking about, for the first time, we promoted the lady operators coming into the process. You are aware that, Northeast, many of these projects require the operators. Some of them are very good lady operators. If you see from excavators to backhoe loaders, they are now gaining momentum. They are being well accepted and their commitment is well recognized. The ISC is also a partner for some of the industry awards what we conduct. And this is Yellow Dot Award which we conducted during EXCON. And you can see our chairman and then the co-chairman and some of the panelists. And also we had an opportunity to, to have a panel discussion on the construction equipment sector and way forward. And some of these awardees who took, for the rewarding, services for the last year, L&T, construction mining business, Hyundai and Volvo, they were awarded. Then, this is another very important step which we took last year. When we prepared the standards, we were looking for some more opportunities to go abroad and do it. You see, when we prepare the standards are compared with the international level, whether it is UK or Canada or America or Australia. These are the 4 countries we compare our standards. Where do we stand on the quality of training that we impart? One of the opportunity that we got it from is from the Abu Dhabi, company called Extra Mix. They wanted us to train their operators, and they compared our standards. If you remember, the other state to say that, they all had machines from abroad, not from the India. But when we talked to them on the standards, how we are prepared and how it is useful to them, it was well accepted part of it. And we carried out a training, not only training for the operators, we also prepared some 3 master mechanics and master trainers. And this group itself has got about 9,000 people to be trained. As and when the situation eases after COVID, we would like to take it forward. Very, very big opportunity for us. And they accept, as India, we are doing an excellent job with reference to their quality and standards. There was another advantage we had. All their operators and people concerned were from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and India, the surrounding countries. And our trainers from the OEMs who went over there, they could, converse with them either with Punjabi or with Tamil or with Hindi or with the Pakistani language to an extent, Urdu. All that they could do, and the training was very, very successful, extremely successful. Now we have been recognized. The first film that shows us, photo shows that the NSDC was involved, National Skill Development Corporation, Government of India was involved in this progress, and it was a very, very successful program. We are also currently participating in the ISC virtual exhibition, which is there on CII till 17th November. You can visit us in the exhibition, and then anything that is required, we can talk to each one of you. Skilling way forward, sir. This is what we are very keen, and then we would request you to give us some thought and then help us out in the moving forward for the skilling process. What are the advantages? Most of us ask, yeah, he is already there, usko end, the dialogue I hear from most of the contractors, sir, usko train karo, wo bhag jata hai. Sir, usko train karo, usko, sir, usko salary zyada mangta hai. These are the normal part of it. But the president said it, BAI president said it very, very clear that, it's a very important thing to have the skilled manpower. What is that, as a person, he gets it in a formal recognition of employee skill sets, enhances morale and confidence at workplace. We have seen a huge morale boost for these people who have been trained. Facilitates career progression. When you want to promote an employee, and then, from single operator to a multiple machine operator, from multiple machine operator to a site supervisor, you need to draw them, where do they stand in their career plan and career progression. This will all give them the skills, the set what we are looking at. What happens to the equipment? That's the most important thing. Increased productivity. It has been proved and it is well established. Minimizing the downtime, because the people are trained to report to the next supervisor what are the problems. It will all come, it may be going on, but it will get all tabulated, and then the system is evolved. Then reduce safety incidents. Every safety incident is recorded, and then these recorded events are discussed within the system. How do we improve the process? This is something as a sector skill council, we are promoting it and giving a huge importance. We have a small chapter on the safety when we do the training. Then enhancing the life of the equipment. This is, of course, everything, if you do productivity, minimizing the downtime, when the life is improved, the contractor who's using this equipment will be more benefited. As a whole, the project will be benefited. Then, less cost overrun, all that. This is the type of certificate that is given by the Sector Skill Council, signed by the chairman. It's a Government of India certificate. He's on our Government of India portal. And then, this is a very important thing. Not only this, when a candidate gets this certificate, IESC in our website, we put the candidate name, what level he has been trained and what job role he has been trained with his phone number. Zone-wise, we have the data. If anybody can go to our, our website, they can, if suppose they want an excavator operator, they can call the candidate with the phone number and requesting for an employment. It is already there in our Sector Skill Council website. It is now going to be in all India level, which is already there now. And then people can contact and take an employment out of them. Then what is the training, the categories and the options. See, there are people in your organization who are already, served a lot of years, or minimum 2 years of experience. We call them as, recognition of prior learning, RPL, which Government of India allows us to do is, we do a short-term program of 40 hours or 5 days. So that, first day we evaluate the candidate for his skill set. Second, third day, we do the training classroom as well as the machine. And then the fifth day, there will be an external agency comes and do the assessment. And we give the certificate immediately after this. It's a very, very useful tool to recognize your current people, what their skill sets are, what level they are. And that will also help you out to put the base of the training. And then there is a fresh training is also available for the people who are joining there with no experience. They're all, most of the projects are now, people, the project, people display, taken off and then employed new youth people coming there. There, the training varies from 120 hours to 240 hours, which we will discuss as and when the references come to us for all the job roles, what I have shown to you. What is that we support we are looking at, sir? Builders Association of India, locations where training is proposed to be carried out. It can be individual contractor, it can be multiple contractors, or it can be zone wise, or it can be state wise. You tell us, because we would like to go through that way. Number of operators, normally we say that, any operator that needs to be trained, we require a batch of 20 people. That's a very important thing for us. If that can be organized so that we can take the OEM, concerned OEM to support us for the training. Very thorough, people certified by us. They are the people who can impart the knowledge of training. Name of the company, contractor who will facilitate the training. Because some of these equipments, we cannot bring it to the workshop or your training center. Some of the equipment requires training at the site itself, on the job training. So this will be a very, very major important point, because our jobs are, 30% is theory class, 70% is the hands-on training. So when we do the training at site, it's on the job training, OJT. That's a very important point. And then have a 30% classroom session for the machine maintenance, operator efficiency, how to operate. Those things can be taken up in the classroom. Theory session, we require the projector and sitting, arrangement, and the practical is job role for related equipment and open ground, because that is where the operation takes place. Responsible for mobilization of candidates and own the, own and others, because after all, they are your people. Even if you want to take a new people, it is suggested that you recruit them and allow us to train them, and we'll give you a thorough good gentleman or an operator who can become an assistant or a full-fledged operator to you according to your requirement. So small things like, when we take care of the tea and snacks. Financials will work it out, sir, with you. IESC is a non-profit organization. Whatever we do on this program is only our certification charges are 1,200 rupees for an operator, and then 1,500 for a mechanic. That's what we charge. That's what I get. Out of the 1,500 or 1,200, 800 rupees we pay for the assessment agency, because they are all external people. They travel across, and then we have to pay for the travel and stay and etc. So as an assessment agency, I get only 400 rupees for the certification of Government of India. That's what is a non-profit organization. As far as the training is concerned, we'll work it out with you, how best we can, fully utilize the opportunities given to us. So that's it, sir. And I am, open, and then you can contact me at any given time. And it will be a pleasure to take some questions, whatever you have.
Mr. Sushil Agarwal, unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, take it forward. Shall we take the gentlemen? Participants are requested to raise their hands.
Concluding remarks, sir.
Concluding remarks, Mr. Shakti Kumar will do at the end, na, sir? Shakti Kumar, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I will do after the question answer.
Question answer. So, yes, one Mr. Kiran B has raised his hand.
Yeah.
Mr. Kiran, can you unmute yourself? Mr. Kiran? The gentleman who has raised his hand using the app, can you unmute yourself? I think he's not responding. Anyway, I'll read out the questions which were received. Out of the questions, Tushar Madhav, Mr. Tushar Madhav from Michigan Engineers Private Limited, Mumbai. They're a very big company in Mumbai.
Yeah.
His question is, Michigan Engineers Private Limited are mainly into trenchless technology, which includes pipe bursting, pipe priming, micro-tunneling, horizontal directional drive, GRP. Being a mechanical engineer manager, I would always want my team to get well-trained in machine as well as technology-wise, which will ease the jobs on machines. The query is, does this concept include training from both the aspects? Mr. Tushar Madhav, I'll see whether he's there. Monsa, you got the question?
I got the question, sir. If he's there, I can answer.
He's there. He's raised his hand. Sir, unmute yourself, Mr. Tushar. Mr. Tushar, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Tushar, sir. Good afternoon or good evening, and nice
Good evening, sir. Good evening,
to have
sir.
you. And then your question
Thank
is
you, sir.
valid.
Thank you, sir.
This is what you are looking at is a very high technical job role that you are looking at,
Sure,
and
sir.
that is what it is. If I am right, you talk about the tunneling machine. Are you talking about tunneling machine, or you are talking about the what exactly is that the equipment? Firefighting equipment. That's what it is.
Sir, you have muted yourself. You have muted yourself.
Unmute.
Tushar, unmute yourself.
Yeah, please.
I have
please.
unmuted. Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, it's basically we are just starting in a couple of weeks. We'll be starting a new job that's just similar to a metro thing, metro machine, TBM.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a segment. Instead of just jacking up the pipes, we'll put up in segments, just like a metro segments into the tunnel. And I just wanted my team to get trained in that manner, in that aspect.
Okay. Are you manufacturers of TBM or you are importing TBM?
No, sir. We have just imported TBM from China,
Yeah.
and we have got a contract.
Yeah.
And we are working as a contractor. Michigan Engineers is working as a contractor since the
Yeah.
last 50 years, and so it's just like we are getting the contracts from BMC.
Yeah. Okay. No, and let me answer your question, sir. See, in 3 phases, we developed the job roles for the equipment which are heavily sold in India in terms of numbers. Excavators, backhoe loaders, and other part of it. We now went into the 3rd stage or 4th stage of the equipment development. It went through phase wise. For us to develop a standard, get the approval of government India, almost take 1 year for us to put the things in place. TBM is in our cards. No, I have already supplied an internal paper to some of our other members of the, our Sector Skill Council, Heron East and all that. TBM, we have not developed the job role so far, but we would like to take you on board. No sooner we get into that process, we need your direction, we need your support to draw the skill set of the gentleman that what you are looking at. Operators, what is that, what is the expectations from the industry? What are the basic parameters? And then I will definitely get in touch with you to take your help and draw these standards, and then we'll take it forward. That's what I would request you to permit you that much of time.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
That's in our cards. That we have to take it up.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan. Mr. Sachin Sachdev of SERA, Construction Equipment Rental Association.
Yeah.
Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Please ask your question.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Arvind ji, Shakti ji.
Good afternoon, Sachin ji. Good to see you there.
Yeah. For sure, Shakti ji, everyone. And from Builder Association of India, Mr. Mohan Saab, everyone. And I think it is going to be a great session. I have jotted down even at least I've taken, snapshots also. So it is very important. I think skilling is an urgent, that's a need of an hour, and it is required for sure at the moment. And Mohanji is doing a great job. Everyone in the committee and all the executives are doing a wonderful job. Do let us know what exactly to be done, and we will definitely be taking it in a right way.
Sachin, I would like to respond to you.
Most required, Arvind Saab.
Yeah, see, basically, as you see, with the advent of modern equipment coming into India and the increased digital, I think this is necessary that operators get trained. We will get in touch with you. We can identify some of the major customers who are to be where we can train. And as Mohan said, we need about 20 operators / mechanics to carry out a training. And if you could identify some of your members and we could have a camp, we will be very happy to start with virtual training as well as on-job training. And then you will be yourself able to see the difference. The number 2 point is companies like Tata Steel are now today saying that they want lady operators on the route. Similarly, if you want to see whether there could be in the hinterland of India, if you want to have lady operators to be trained, we will be very happy to do a detailed training program for them for 15 days only, 30 days, based on whatever is the requirement, so that this second half of our country, they become a part of the entire ecosystem and we can train them as well.
Surely, Arvind sir.
Yeah.
We'll surely be taking it forward.
Sachin Saab, in continuation of Mr. Garg Saab's comment, as we discussed earlier, I have already sent you to sign the MOU with us, so that, we are very keenly waiting, and so that we take it forward, sir. We have, very, for us, it is very important as IESC to move forward with you, and we look forward to work with you very, very closely.
Even it is, in fact, for rental companies, it is utmost required. This is really required because in any case, unskilled laborers are killing our machinery. We need it in a right way, and it is required, on a priority basis. So we'll definitely signing an MOU this week only, sir. Mohan sir.
Yeah, thank you. That will be very nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Satin, in a couple of lines, can you introduce yourself to the participants?
Yeah, this is Satin Sachdeva from Construction Equipment Rental Association of India. Construction Equipment Rental Association of India is a rental association body, and we are a national body. This is a non-profit organization. We are working for the welfare of entire rental community of India. We are taking the entire rental fraternity of India, internationally, globally, everywhere. And we are working hard on the issues what rental companies are facing, and with the stakeholders like all the manufacturers, financiers, other stakeholders, we are taking it forward. So this is all for rental fraternity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
More than 400 members as of now. We have a lot of associate members. We have all the support of Garg Saab, Sakti Kumarji, and all of the other manufacturers. We'll definitely be taking it forward.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pandurang Vasumuthi, can you unmute yourself, sir? Mr. Pandurang?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Sir, I am Pandurangan. Pandurangan from Southern Center, basically in Chennai. So since after this COVID, there is a lot of shortage of laborers in Chennai. So apart from the heavy equipment, we need equipment for plastering, inner plastering, outer plastering, and for painting. If we have the equipment, it will be easier to sort out this labor problem. Can you help us to identify the suppliers of these machineries? Apart from Chinese machine, is there any machine from India available for this internal and outer plastering and painting work?
Mr. Pandurangan, may I suggest one thing? If you send me a mail on your requirement, we are not involved in equipment sales. Definitely, you are, from my presentation, you can understand. And the equipment that you are also looking at, we do not directly deal with the Sector Skill Council with reference to that part. But I have people in the industry, I may be able to forward your mail and then support you whatever is required from my end. I'll definitely look at it, sir. And you can send me a mail, sir, if you have my website, or it is hs.mohan@iescindia.com. You can always send me a mail. I'll be able to respond to you. No problem at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Priyank Naik, can you unmute yourself? You want to ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all, my compliments to both Mr. Arvind Garg and Mr. Mohan. Their highly motivated speeches. In fact, their presence itself at our meeting shows their interest and their keenness to push this issue forward, which is very, very important for all of us as users of equipment. I have two quick questions. One is that wonderful presentation from Mr. Mohan about the kind of training which is given, the certification, the kind of the pedagogy training hours and all which you put in. If I have this certificate and I want to use it to drive a car, for example, will the government accept my certification? Because in any case, you're also a government body. You are doing it for skill, and the Prime Minister's, a lot of issues are involved with skill development and so on. So is your certification, or rather to ask the question in one line, will the Skill India certification allow me to drive a car? So that's the first question. Second question is about have you been able to figure out the relationship between a trained person, that is after your training, and how much he is able to save on, say, spares, or how he improves the life of machine? Can you tell me in percentage, like 10% life went up, or saving in spares were 15% or something like that? So, thank you very much. Very informative and very illuminating seminar, and thank you very much. Just a quick introduction about myself. I am a columnist, and I'm looking for an article. I write for Deccan Herald, TOI, Hindu Business Line, CT, ET, and so on. I'm looking for an op-ed article. So if my editor accepts, I hope to have something on this piece which we are doing today. So thank you very much once again. Really appreciate it.
I'll respond to the question.
Yes, please.
Wonderful to have you on board, and very, very valid questions coming in from you. The first question on whether certificate would help somebody to drive a car. I don't think so, because car is under the CMVR and it basically needs a license. However, the certificate is given by the government of India. As you saw yourself, CII is an assessment agency, and this certificate helps an operator to be clearly identified as to which job role is the person qualified in, and it helps him to get a better job. We have found that people who are certified are able to get an improvement in their salaries whenever they go to a new employer or within the same employment. So we find that certified operators will be able to operate the equipment in a better and more cost-effective manner. They, however, will need a separate license from MORTH or under CMVR to drive a car. That is the answer to the first question. On the second part, we are definitely seeing that fuel efficiency, we are able to get a lot of improvement. Wherever we have conducted training, using telematics, we are able to find that at least a 5 to 7% improvement in fuel efficiency we are able to see. And on the spare parts area, we are now trying to measure it, but my own belief is that at least about 8 to 10% improvement in spare parts consumption, especially for areas related to the ground engaging tools and for the undercarriages or tire life, etc. We expect a major improvement to be seen in those areas.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Naik, your question is answered. So we have a question.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
And PRN, what you could do is, you have my mobile number. So if you could send me your a mail from you, we will be very happy to respond to you from IESC, which would help you in your column as well. So
we have one
Thank you.
Mr. Virendra Shukla from Ministry of Skill Development. Can you unmute yourself? Are you there, Mr.
Hello.
Virendra Shukla? Yeah. Please ask. Yeah.
I'm VK
Introduce
Shukla.
yourself, and you don't want to start your video?
From DGT, Ministry of Skill Development, as a convener for this infrastructure equipment sectoral trade course committee, and looking after the development of courses, new courses, and we have recently introduced 6 new courses for metro construction, which includes one CBM, this tunnel boring machine operator and mechanic also. So for that, curriculum is almost ready, which we are going to share with you all. The second thing what we want is that to introduce apprenticeship in this construction equipment training. Apprenticeship is a very good concept, that while the operator, these newly recruited workers, they will be working with the companies, and simultaneously they will be getting their theoretical classes in also. So industry will also get the benefit of these in training the workers, and the workers will be working with the industry, and simultaneously they will be getting trained, and apprentices will be getting the certificate, which is recognized for all the government jobs and abroad also. And government reimburses the stipend paid to the trainees, that is approximately around up to 25% of the stipend, maximum up to 1,500 rupees, that government reimburses to the industries towards a stipend. And I came to know that the industries are not very much interested in apprenticeship training. I do not know why, because in most of the industry, the study that is carried out in Germany and all, that industries are very much getting benefited while recruiting apprentices. In the first year, they have to spend little money on their training, but after 6 months or so, the trainees start expect that industry will go for apprenticeship training of workers. Initially, they'll recruit trainees as apprenticeship, and after the training, they may employ them, but that is not also necessary for them to employ permanently, but they can. It is up to them. So I would request industry to go for apprenticeship also. It's a very good scheme of Government of India.
Shukla Sab, to respond to you, I think it's a very, very valid point you have made. But I would like to say here that all of us, at least to my knowledge, within our construction and mining equipment industry, have been taking apprentices, both in the manufacturing sector as well as in the service sector. I can confirm to you that as Larsen & Toubro, we have a lot of apprentices. Every year we take them through that process of 2 or 3 years of apprenticeship, as you mentioned, where they are not only given theoretical classes, they are also given on-the-job training. They undergo the tests that are required, and once they pass those, we either employ them or we offer them to our dealers or we offer them to our customers. We will be very happy to understand from you whether any changes have taken place in the Apprenticeship Act. But I know that in our factories, we have today about at least 250 apprentices, as well as in our service stations, we have more than about 200 apprentices who undergo the entire training, the apprenticeship program. And I'm sure that all of us within the industry are doing it. I will request Mr. Mohan to check up from all of us about the number of apprentices that we are currently employing, and we will reach out to you and revert to you with statistics on the same. Mr. Mohan, we could write to all our members through ICIMA and share the details with the Ministry of Skill Development on the apprenticeship program. As far as TBMs are concerned, I must tell you, as Mr. Mohan mentioned earlier, TBMs are now beginning to come into the country. We are reaching out to some of the manufacturers to help us in development of the total standards and training material around it. We'll be very happy to collaborate with the TBM manufacturers and develop the necessary, I would say, qualification packs as well as the skilling requirements around this. I think this request has come from more than 2 quarters, Mr. Mohan, now. So we will have to put this on priority as well, because increasingly India will look at tunneling as I think an activity, and TBM will come into the country. So it's a good opportunity for us to engage ourselves in this as well.
Absolutely.
We will do that.
Shukla sir, Mohan here.
Tell me.
Sir, I have one submission, sir. I would request you that you said you are developing the curriculum for the TBM. And I sincerely request, whether this can be sent to some of the manufacturers in India where we get their validation done, because that will match up a lot of requirement and then get the acceptability in the system. If that can be done also, it will be good for us, sir.
Shukla sir, if we can have your mobile number.
I will share his mobile number. His mobile number is then in the registration form details.
So kindly send us his mobile number, so then we will be able to offline connect with him and take this forward. Okay.
I have given it to Mr. Shakti Kumar. I will send it to Mr. Mohan. I'll send the registration details, total Excel sheet to
Please
Mr. Mohan.
Thank you. That will be very
I have his number. That's nice.
Shall we take a couple of more questions? One, Mr. Azaruddin Sheikh from Puzmaiza. Mr. Azaruddin, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, very good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Thanks for such a good session. My question was, sir, how will the overall landscape of training of operators and mechanics will change post-pandemic?
He's from Puzmaiza.
Yeah, so I have not really understood your question properly. But right now we are looking at virtual training because of the pandemic. We are not able to carry out on-the-job training as much as we would like to do so. However, going forward, if we have more than 20 operators, we will be very happy to invite them to our training centers, maintain the social distancing if they're able to travel. And we will carry out training as was being done pre-pandemic area. I do not know whether I have been able to answer your question really, but right now the focus is more on theoretical classes, and post-pandemic it will go back to theoretical classes as well as on-the-job training using simulators and actual equipment.
That's right.
Have I been able to answer your question?
Mr. Azhar?
Azhar? He has muted himself. Unmute yourself. Mr. Azhar, please.
Yes, sir, that very much answers my question. Thank you. And yes, and as a training partner, even we are coming up with new ideas and innovations to bring operators from various demographies together. And this pandemic has been a learning to us that we need to move a step ahead and do not rely on classroom training alone. There are many other methods and online training as well. And we need to see how well we are able to achieve what we want through online classes as well. And thanks for answering. We will be in touch with IESC for further progress. Thank you so much, sir.
I think Mr. Mohan, I think we will.
Thank you very much. Actually, for mechanics, we also have a lot of.
Yeah. Madhu sir?
I think there are questions which are. I think we'll stop it, or we will. Our president, I think, will say a few words.
Yeah, please.
Because there are some questions which I think I'll send you the Excel sheet there so that you can directly reply to the person.
Yeah, no issue at all. I will take care of it.
President sir.
Regarding this women operators.
Yes, sir.
It's a very good move.
Yes, sir.
In our BA from Tamil Nadu, we have trained women workers as painters and as carpenters and all.
Yeah.
They are doing good and they are doing well.
Yeah.
These operators, it is a very good idea. Definitely, we will encourage that and let the women get trained and all. We will be definitely encouraging that. And my request to you again is, you please give your articles on this skill development, how we are doing in various zones and all. We will publish this in our magazine, and we will ask all our state chairman and all. Since we are having more than 180 centers throughout Pan India, and we have all the our state chairman and all, we will request them to motivate this in all their centers like that. Previously, for the skill development, this mechanization committee is separate. For this skill development also, we have one committee for the throughout India previously. Now we have, in my period, I made it for this 5 zones. We have made 5 committees for the skill development. So we want to make more people for the skill development and for this mechanization and all everything. Since the modern techniques has come, definitely we have to go for this technology.
Absolutely.
See, in my side, my power operator, he will not listen to my site supervisor. What he will tell, no? See, you are getting 20,000 rupees monthly salary. I am getting 50,000 rupees monthly salary. I know more than you. He will tell like that. See, if we give certificate, with the certificate, definitely they will move to the other company with the higher salary. Some people, they went to the Gulf countries and Singapore, Malaysia also with the BA certificate itself. This Mason and all these things and all, they have moved to thing. But the thing, even then, we are doing all these things. One Mr. our Pandurangan who spoke to you, he is our skill development committee chairman in our Chennai.
Oh, okay.
He is giving very good skill development for these masons and the painters and all. Yeah. This plastering also, Mr. Pandurangan is there. We have Sasa Engineering and MSS Engineering in Chennai. They are our members. We can have from our Southern Center office number, their numbers, and we can utilize this plastering machines also. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We are waiting for our Shakti's concluding remarks.
Shakti Kumar sir,
thank you very much.
Shakti Kumar sir, we have our National Secretary here, Mr. Pradeep Nagavekar.
Okay.
Oh, sir, I am taking Mr. Pradeep Nagavekar, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Am I? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, friends, and a very good evening to you all. I'm sure you all are aware of today's date. Today is 10th October 2020. That is 10/10/2020. So very rare and unique date. And we are also in the 10th lecture of BI during this pandemic. The concept of which was started with the blessings and guidance of our beloved President, Sri M.U. Mohan sir. And this is how we are also in now 10th lecture on this today's unique date. Friends, let me tell you the videos of all these lectures on YouTube channel of Builders Association of India are there. So I request you all to visit the YouTube channel, see the videos, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and so that you will get the notifications on your email or any new videos or any new things being uploaded to the YouTube channel of our Builders Association of India. Okay, now coming to the today's event, it is very, very and really essential, and it is very important under the present circumstances to increase the productivity of the Indian construction industries, wherein projects which are taking suppose 2 years can now be completed with the help of this total mechanized and innovative machine equipments can be completed in a half a period, say, of 1 year. That too as per the international standards. I don't know the figures now, but we are very below international standards as regards completion of the project's duration. Friends, so BI is involved in skilling of laborers as stated by just now by our president and all that, and we were very closely with ICAMA. So Indian Construction Equipment Skill Council is under the aegis of ICAMA. Like that, as stated, we have also Construction Sector Skill Development Council. So we go hand in hand. So mechanization is now very essential, and as stated again, so training of persons operating the machines as well as training for maintaining the same is very essential. So ICAMA is doing very wonderful job, and we have been enlightened today by this lecture. Friends, I express my sincere thanks to our mechanization committee under the chairmanship of Shakti Kumar ji and co-chairman our Sushil Sharma ji. I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Shakti Kumar sir.
Yeah, Madhu sir, with your permission and the permission of.
Arey bas kya mera permission.
Okay, I will go ahead with the conclusion remark.
Yeah.
Firstly, let me tell the mechanism, the skill development as a topic when we talk about. Korea is at around 96% of the skill level as a country. Japan is at 90%. Germany is at 80%. USA is 46%. But if you want to talk about India, our country, it is just 4%. So that is the level today. This is one side. The other side, if you talk about India, which is investing on infrastructure and construction and various real estate projects, we are talking about 5 trillion investment in the next 4-5 years before 2024. So there is a big demand for construction. There is a big gap in the level of skilling. And if you talk about the people availability, we have a country, as a country, we have 29 years as the median age of the people. And 64% of our national is, the citizens are working population. So this is very, very interesting situation. When we talk about skill today, the meaning is there is something is missing why people are not able to get skill. Let us talk about the previous regime. They talked about 50 crore people to be skilled. And subsequently, these numbers were given away and people did not talk anymore about that. And today, nobody talks about any number on how many people should be skilled. I think the biggest problem is support coming from all the stakeholders to skill people. There are many fears in the mind. Today, even President was talking about, the certificate, giving a certificate also could be detrimental. Sir, it is my submission that today the growth of construction industry in India is going to become the #2 in the next couple of years globally. So the people from other countries are going to come here for job, and hardly it's going to give any opportunity for our people to go out and work because of the amount of construction activity which is going to take place in our country. That's point one. And a pandemic type of a situation, people would like to be close in their place, and nobody would like to go to an unknown place, and they don't know when the flight will be operating for them to come back if there is a situation like that. I think the near future and the coming years, that concern should not be there in our minds, sir. This is my submission. And I have some thoughts for the members of a Builders Association, where I belong to as a mechanization committee chairman. Some thoughts. One is, the first thought is, why not when we take a person inside our company as an operator, ask him the question, do you have a certificate from the related organization to operate the machine in which we are planning to take you? So this will spread very quick way. The people will understand there is a need for me to hold a certificate, so I have to get trained. So this could be one pressure coming on the people. Today, we take them because they are available, they have worked in another company with a similar machine, we take them. But whether they have gone through the proper training or not, that check, that filter can help us at the entry point, so that we will ensure the efforts of the government and various bodies, IESC, ICMA, Builders Association, all are focused on one thing, skilling people, whether that objective is going to be realized. I just wanted to tell, the biggest thing for anybody is to make somebody useful in his life. Today I read a message where the driver of the former President Abdul Kalam, who was driving for him, had an opportunity to talk to him very frequently, has gone to learn after studying, after doing his job, and he has completed post-graduation PhD, and today he is an assistant professor in college.
Yeah.
Kalam is gone, but this man has become an academician from driving, starting his career as a driving. So that is what he has made this person's life change in his lifetime. So I think we all have a responsibility to make our fellow citizens who are not having the chance to get a formal training or skilling, to give them an opportunity to get skilled and grow in their life and careers. And another thought which came to my mind is, instead of giving somebody money as a gift or to buy something, there is a famous saying, if somebody wants to eat fish, don't give him money to buy the fish or cook a fish and give to him. Teach him how to do the fishing. So he will be self-sufficient for his lifetime. So from the same concept, the CSR fund available with all the construction companies like us, we can invest more on skill development. I think this will in a big way will come back to us. So this is one thought which I thought I should share. And another thing is, IAC and ICMA are organizations which are working for all the big machineries, maybe where the numbers are not there. Today, if you see the questions, Mr. Pandurangan and others talked about topics like, plastering machine, where the numbers are too many and the requirement is too big. I think definitely there should be, first of all, machine available, then the skilled people to work on those machines. I think there are many more new things which is going to come into the market, and all of them, this mechanization together with the skilling will help us seamlessly face the challenges like we have today in demolition, in scaffolding, in plastering, in material handling in the site. That is also not mechanized in a big way. We are realizing the need because the migrant laborers are missing or they become expensive. We are looking at how to mechanize even handling material at site and even concreting. I would like to say there was a question about what COVID situation is going to do on the learning side. The machines are becoming more and more intelligent. People would like to manage the project more intelligent way by rapid digitalization and bringing in technology like IoT, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality and all. So the people who start as a mechanical, hydraulic, electrical operator also has an opportunity in his life to learn these things and become even bigger in his career. Industry 4.0 for example, that is also is going to come. This corona has little bit shaken everything, and the amount of skilling in these areas are also required in a big way. So skilling is the only way we can become a 5 trillion economy, and individually in everybody here who's listening or who had the opportunity to get the great input of Mr. Arvind ji or Mohan ji or President and Mr. Nagwekar thoughts. So many ideation has happened. All these things can become a reality only if we all seriously commit for skilling for the days to come. I thank you very much, and I leave the forum to my co-chairman, Mr. Sushil Agarwal ji, to give the vote of thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Very good. Shakti, very good.
Sushil ji, Sushil sir.
Once again, good evening, everybody. Friends, when we received request from ICIMA for conducting one program about skill development for knowledge and information to our members, we said Neki aur Pooch Pooch. We immediately discussed the issue in our Committee of Mechanization and Modern Technology Committee. Our chairman, Shri Shakti Kumar, is also an office bearer in IASC. He had a talk with Mr. H.S. Mohan. So we immediately fixed the time slot after seeking permission from our beloved president. We thank Shri M.E. Mohan, our beloved president, for sparing his valuable time and be with us to support us and enlighten us and show his concerns about the safety of our operators who are working for us. Then I'm also thankful to today's eminent speaker, Arvind Ji Garg and Mr. H.S. Mohan for giving us wonderful presentation about how IASC is working and training the people. See, a lot of people want to work in this field. Even our BI Pune Center is very keen on starting something on this, but there's lack of information is there. Means we are not aware of it. So today, with today's presentation, I think we got a lot of concepts how we can contribute to it. Then I'm thankful to Mr. Baburao Shakarwar, our Vice President of Western India, Mr. Pradeep Nagwekar ji, for giving expressing himself about this importance of training in construction equipment. Then I can see a lot of state chairmen who are there. Our BI Center Chairman, then other office bearers. So we are thankful to all of you. Most important, BI members and who are attending today's program. We are all thankful to them. And last, most important, our BI Mumbai Center team for hosting and conducting the whole operation. Shri Mohinder Rizwani ji, Chairman of Mumbai Center, Shri Madhusudan and his team, who are backbone of our BI's operation in conducting every such program. And most important, I thank all the members of BI for sparing their valuable time and grabbing the information and knowledge presented today and spreading this amongst their respective organizations. Thus, we have moved from labor and capital intensive enterprises to knowledge and information based enterprises. So friends, we are completing today's program well within time, and we can see the number that is present today. The number crossed 90 plus. So that shows the importance. And
it crossed 100. It crossed
100. Okay, great. That's great.
Well, I'll give the figure on WhatsApp afterwards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that shows the keen interest of everybody in contributing and in this event. So thank you, everybody. That's all. I say we have come to closure of the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Arvind Gargji and HS Mohanji.
Mohan sir, thank
very
you
much.
sir.
Thank you.
Everybody. Pradeep ji
Uh,
also, thank you.
This is the starting. We have to go for a long way.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely,
Yes, sir. That is
Absolutely.
the only way. Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank
Thanks
you.
also
Thank you
to
all.
Thank you, sir.
Sri Kumar and Mr. Mohan for a wonderful presentation. Sushil ji, thank you very much. Pradeep ji, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakti Saab. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Shakti Kumar sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu
Madhu
Saab.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure doing this.
Very wonderful, sir.
Again, on my personal behalf, I'd like to thank our Mumbai Center chairman also. I'm on my behalf also. He's always a help to me in handling these Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
He supports me in coordinating everything online. He's there as the co-host.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan, very much, sir.
This program will be telecasted in our YouTube, and
By tonight.
thousands of viewers will see that, and it will
Thank
go
you.
on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By tonight, it will be on the YouTube, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Looking forward, sir. Looking forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes, sir.
you.
Gar sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My
Thank you.
pleasure and
Yes,
privilege to
thank
be
you very
here
much.
to
Thank you,
amongst
sir.
all of you. Thank you very, very much. Good day.
Thank you, Garg Saab. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
unmuting everybody so that they can do some this thing.